we're clearly at an inflection point because, as you have said, the Vice President of the United States just gave this speech at the Munich Security Conference, biggest speech given in Europe in a while, I think it was fair to say, in which he, J.D. Vance, kind of reset the terms of the relationship. And so if you're Zelensky, the bottom line is you're no longer in control of Washington. So where does that leave Zelensky?
Listen, the information I got this morning is it's left him very angry, very addled, and working to sort of form a coalition of European leaders around him.
Why does he think he has like a moral right to run the U.S. government? It's pretty cheeky, I'd say.
Well, he seems to think he has a moral right to run the European government.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, from trying to interact with the EU, he's right. He's running it. I mean, these people in the EU won't talk to me. And if they talk to me, they won't listen. I mean, it's incredible. He has them completely wrapped. He doesn't have Orban wrapped, but he has.
Well, the Ukrainian government took U.S. tax dollars to try to overthrow Orban, maybe to kill him, So that's a fact. So that itself, Hungary is in NATO. So one NATO power cannot attack another NATO power. Like, what is that? This whole thing has just scrambled the eggs of the world.
Yeah, I have no knowledge of that. All I can say is that the information we've gotten is that the meeting that took place and the reestablishment of more normalized relations between the United States and Russia, leading to some discussion, has been there's been a horrible reaction within the presidential administration, and we fear that this will cause further repression of the church.
Can Zelensky, we can debate what his actual approval rating is, but I would bet my house it's not over 50. Can he hang on?
Look, I'd bet my house it's not over 20. I have no idea, because when you have the secret police, you've got power. So I don't, I can't answer that question. I can just say that if you're an opponent of Zelensky, this is a moment of fear, because he is clearly doubling down on the repression. And anyone who's opposed to Zelensky should be in fear, because he is a man that is a dictator. I mean, however you want to phrase it, that's who he is. He is running a police state. Our friends don't want to say that, but that's the reality of Ukraine today.
What's the other word for it? I can't think of one.
I can't either. But you never see that in any newspaper in the West.
So in September, we went across the country, coast to coast, 17 different cities on a nationwide live tour, and it was amazing. And we brought the entire staff with us, like we always do, because we've all worked together for so long and enjoy traveling together. And one of our producers is a documentary filmmaker. And so he decided to make a documentary film about our trip, a full month across America with some of the most interesting people around. Different people joined us every single night. Bongino and Russell Brand and Bobby Kennedy and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, et cetera, et cetera. We had the best time, and the fruit of that is a documentary called On the Road, the Tucker Carlson Live Tour, which is available right now on TCN. On the Road, Tucker Carlson Live Tour. It is hilarious. You will like it. So that really bothers me. Look, there are tons of dictatorships around the world, but the West is supposed to be this beacon of freedom and enlightenment, respecter of human rights, et cetera, et cetera. What does it tell you as an American, as a product of the West, that all of our big institutions seem to like the Zelensky dictatorship? They like it. I've confronted a bunch of people. You think it's okay to ban a church? Well, that church is pro-Russia. Okay. Well, you say it's not pro-Russia. I don't care if it is. You can't ban other people's religions, period. I don't care how much you dislike them. I don't care if it's Scientology or Kabbalah. It doesn't matter. Hinduism doesn't matter. You can't ban other people's religions. And yet, I don't know anyone who's bothered by it in high position in the West. So what does it tell you about the people in high positions in the West?
Well, it means that we have become disconnected from in reality who we are and who we're supposed to be.
Yeah, well, that's a diplomatic way of putting it. Yeah,
and it does not bode well for our future as a country.
That's exactly it.
And that's what's frightening to me.
You feel that?
Yes, I feel that. I feel it's shocking to me how alienated I am representing this church because I'm not accepting the narrative that's been accepted by others. And so my firm, myself, we are paying a terrible price, not nearly as bad as our client who faces physical violence and the destruction of their religion, but there is no quarter being given to disputing what's going on. This guy has seemed to have a complete lock on our institutions, on Washington. Now, we just spoke at the conference. We weren't able to speak a year ago. Maybe that's a good sign. We're going to try to go back on the Hill. I was there a few weeks ago. No member would meet us, but that could have just been the transition. We're going to go back and try again. But it really is, the Zelensky effect is something that needs to be studied because it's incredibly unhealthy for us, number one, as a democracy. Number two, in terms of our geopolitical reckoning.
That's right.
Who we are in the world has to be reassessed. And I'm actually a Canadian and British lawyer. Although I have a master's in American law, I don't practice here. And of course, now that I'm a Canadian, we could be at war, even though I'm an American as well.
You'll just be a state, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be okay. But I will say that what this presidency is doing is, with God's help, opening up our eyes to what's been going on.
That's right.
And I have to say that as a lawyer, I am deeply in awe. Firstly, you have to hand it to President Trump, stamina like I've never seen in 10 human beings.
It's unbelievable.
Secondly, you have to accept that the Justice Department was weaponized. Whoever you are, as a lawyer in this country, there is no doubt that the weaponization that took place under the Democrats was severe. I have a lot of issues with what happened regarding January 6th. I'm going to have a lot of issues with what's going on at the Justice Department and the FBI. But I will say, do not say it is this president who has politicized the DOJ. This is a systemic problem that has been horrifically exploded during the last Democratic presidency.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.